Happy Friday from Stem Cell for Life. This is Dr. Jane Hendricks, and I wanted to do a couple minutes on Muse Stem Cells. What are Muse Stem Cells? They are a subset of stem cells that can survive in hostile environments. They have a strong ability to go to areas of injury, and so these international clinics are offering these supposedly stronger, more potent Muse stem cells as a treatment, and adding 2 to 3 times the normal amount, $20,000 to $30,000 now for an IV or joint injection for these created Muse stem cells. So this subset of strong stem cells that can survive hostile environments is naturally occurring in your body, and your body makes them when it's needed from your bone marrow and adipose. Also, when you get an infusion or injection of umbilical cord stem cells, there's a certain small percentage of Muse stem cells that is inherent, if it's a good product, of course, with minimal processing. So the more wholesome the product, meaning US-based labs are not allowed by the FDA to overly process the stem cells. So when I look at my certificate, I'm opening the box, getting ready to do an IV. It says that the stem cells were just manufactured a couple months ago. That's minimally processed. Versus some of my colleagues are using a supplier that is cloning bone marrow stem cells from a donor who donated her stem cells from her bone marrow 10 years ago. It's a female. And this lab is cloning them from that source. So that's a lot of processing, right? You're cloning stem cells in petri dishes. There's a couple things to think about. And then now we're talking about, let's now do further processing to create Muse stem cells. They're not getting them from somewhere, they're creating them. Mad scientist stuff. And so there's a risk for contamination. Also, think of a vitamin or supplement, pharmaceuticals. The more processed something is, the more it's like a chemical rather than a naturally occurring food or ingredient. It's not biological anymore. It's a chemical given to a biological you. How is that going to work with the body? It's better to receive the whole stem cells along with its helper cells, because stem cells come with helper cells, and then they'll give off their exosomes. They'll respond to cytokine signaling and go to the areas of injury. How is it that I've been administering stem cell IVs, which is a generalized treatment because it's just going into the blood, right? And then my patient with ulcerative colitis no longer gets flares, or my patient with brain fog thinks clearly, or my patient with asthma isn't using her inhaler anymore, or my patient with myocarditis doesn't have the symptoms of the racy heartbeat anymore. How is this happening if the stem cells that I get from an FDA registered lab that were just harvested a couple months ago get to these places, get to the various organs, reverse diabetes? Because they respond to cytokine signaling. And the less processed something is, this is just basic common sense. This is not Kardashian mentality. This is common sense. The less processed something is, the more potent it will be. I think 100% of the population would agree with that. The more processed something is, the less wholesome it will be and more like a chemical. And it's going to possibly increase the effects, adverse effects of that treatment. So it's not only safer, but it's more effective to go with the less processed stem cells. And your body, again, already does the Muse stem cell thing. Whenever you get umbilical cord stem cells, there will be a subset created out of that, the Muse stem cells that survive hostile environments and go to areas of injury. So it is not necessary to pay $30,000 or $25,000 for this made-up thing, for this created thing. So use common sense. Don't get enraptured by what certain Hollywood people do, do what's wholesome and more similar to your biology and not so chemical. And you will definitely notice the difference if you go that route. Also, with Muse Stem Cells and expanded stem cells, where there's a lot of processing, they do package deals, like in Colombia or some of these seminar companies. So they want you to do a package deal. Why do you need to do a package deal with 3 IVs? Why can't you just do one? You know, if it's a good treatment, you're paying thousands of dollars. Why do you have to go back 3 times? Because it's a weak treatment. So it's built in. It's built into the package. It's sold very well. They're great at marketing. But intuitively, if it's a good treatment and it's thousands of dollars and stem cells are supposed to do these great things, then it should just be 1, maybe 2 treatments, depending on the conditions being treated. I get it, more advanced conditions will require more treatments. But the vast majority of my patients, they get great results based on just 1 treatment alone. Okay, if you have any questions, further questions, feel free to fill out the contact form on my website. If you are looking to get a stem cell joint injection or an IV for chronic medical conditions such as long COVID or autoimmune, fill out that health survey so I know a little bit about you, and you will qualify for a complimentary short visit over the phone to go over your custom treatment plan. It's not one size fits all. And then I'll share the pricing with you for that treatment plan for your medical condition and current state of health. So fill out that information, or if you just have questions, you can fill out that contact form as well. Have a wonderful weekend.